Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Gyanatamurindasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Umlitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Badaya Krishna Bastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nevashesha Shunyavadi Paschachad Sitarane Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
जय श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय गौर भक्त वृंद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. Let's take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the medicine for the suffering soul who is connected from Krishna. And we are continuing Prithu Maharaj chastising Bhumi Devi. And Snehavati Gandharvika Mataji asked a question yesterday, but why? Why was she not giving? And one of the answers I also wanted to share was, sometimes Bhumi Devi is traumatized and tortured by all the wrong leaders, oftentimes. And then she becomes a little bit stubborn, So similar, how that's relevant for us is also sometimes we become traumatized by, say, difficult relationships and people in our life who don't have the right intentions, etc. And it takes us a while to really become qualified to receive right shelter, right leadership. And this can be also applied in our cases, how Bhumi Devi was a little bit hesitant to immediately provide for this earth, for the people of this earth, because she was quite pained and tortured by previous people, including Vena. And that's relevant for us today, that we may wonder why agriculture is not exactly enough, or why there are certain things like global warming, and why there are things such as drought and earthquakes and other kinds of disasters on this earth happening. So that is actually addressed elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam. As Kali Yuga is progressing, these kind of atrocities upon Mother Earth continues as we speak right now. Wars on her, and she's a divine goddess. She's a person. At the same time, she's also woman, in the sense she's not an ordinary woman, she's a divine woman, but there is that feminine tendency to withdraw when we are not protected. So sometimes you may wonder why nice women behave badly, or why nice women become rude and aggressive, because it's a kind of a coping mechanism. We learn to withdraw what we give in order to protect ourselves. And if there's nobody to protect Bhumi Devi, and she's mentioning, right, like how Hiranyaksha captured her earlier, and how Krishna saved her. She's mentioning here, kindly remember how you once assumed the form of a boar and rescued me from the bottom of Garbhodak ocean. So it means that she's already gone through the trauma and torture of being kidnapped and being abused and being fought on, right? The wars being fought on Bhumi Devi, and Bhumi Devi is mother. She's a mother, and she sees, like right now, the war that's happening is just atrocious. It's just so vicious. It's so unjust. So many children are being, they're dying, and they're orphaned, and crazy things happening. And it's not easy for Mother Earth to digest all the things that were happening even back then. So momentarily, she behaved the way any person would behave after being mistreated and under wrong leadership. I just wanted to mention that as well. Thank you. Okay, next we are continuing chapter 18. Can we have our new participant or Gokul Lila if you'd like to start reading?
Sure. So Prithu milks the earth. Different persons extract Bhumi's varieties of produce. Prithu's lips trembled in anger. They were just empty words. If Bhumi were truly contruit, she would provide grains. He raised his sword, and Bhumi shook with fear. My lord, please give up your anger and hear my words. Even though I was wretched, kindly hear me. If you hear something of value, please accept it, just as a bee takes only the nectar from a flower. Prithu lowered his arm. What have you to say? Bhumi said, great sages have established methods by which people can achieve prosperity in this life and the next. Anyone who follows their recommendations will enjoy all life's necessities. If one foolishly ignores their authority and concocts his own path, he will fail in all endeavors. Prithu's expression remained stern. Bhumi's eyes welled with tears. My dear king, you should know that my produce, seeds, roots, herbs, and grains was exploited without restraint for many years by atheistic men devoid of spiritual knowledge and sense control. I therefore hid the seeds deep within me, and they have now deteriorated. If you permit, I will now explain how you can extract from me good seeds. Prithu slowly sheathed, don't know that word, his sword. Tell me what I should do. Bhumi sighed, her body relaxing. Great hero, if you wish to supply all necessities to the living entities, you should milk me. Bring a suitable calf, a milkman, and a pot of milk. Since I will be affectionate to my calf, your desire will be fulfilled. Prithu smiled. I shall do as you ask. Is there anything else I need to do? Bhumi said, my dear king, you will need to level the earth's surface. That will help me to provide produce even when the rainy seasons have ceased. The rain, which comes by Indra's mercy, will remain on the earth's surface, keeping the soil moist and suitable for crops. Maitreya noticed Vidura perspiring under the warm sun. He suggested they move to a more shaded area. When the two men were...
Wow, this is getting interesting, right? Oh, how would some ordinary person level the earth? And Prithu Maharaj has heard, even you see, even Bhumi Devi says that, like all these non-devotees or karmis or these materialistic people, they were trying to misuse my resources. So she expresses her reasons. Yeah, please continue.
Again settled, Vidura said, what did King Prithu do on hearing Bhumi's suggestion? Maitreya said, Prithu found her proposal pleasing and for everyone's good. He transformed Swayambhuva Manu into a calf and milked the cow-shaped earth, all types of herbs and grains, which he caught in his cupped hands. Others also took the opportunity to milk from her whatever they wanted. They used as their calves those persons able to specifically elicit from the earth the particular item required. The sages made Bhrigu into a calf and milked Vedic knowledge from the earth, using their minds, hearing, and speech as the receptacles. After this, the gods asked Indra to become a calf in order to milk the celestial Soma beverage, which increases bodily and mental power. The demons extracted liquor and beer by asking Prahlad to become a calf. The Gandharvas drew out musical arts and beauty with the help of Vishvashu as their calf. Then the Pritis, who would preside over funerals, milked out kava, a food offered to ancestors. Kavya. While the Siddhas, with Lord Kapila acting as the calf, milked yogic mystic powers from Bhumi. As the beaming king looked on, the Kimpushuras, celestials, drew from the earth the mystic power known as Antardana, by which one can disappear and reappear in any form he likes. Then the yakshas, rakshas, and ghosts, who are fond of eating flesh, used Rudra as a calf to extract beverage of blood, which they kept in cups made of skulls, snakes, scorpions, and other venomous.
Okay, we'll pause there for a second. It's interesting to note how Prahlad Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam comes later, right? In seventh canto, we're studying Prahlad Maharaj later. But Bhagavatam is not like, it's not exactly, how do you call it?
Chronological, right?
Thank you. It's not exactly like that kind of chronological, like, oh, first we're speaking about this and then Prahlad. No, by the time Prithu had appeared, there was already Prahlad. Maharaj had already appeared, and Varahadev already happened. Of course, Varahadev happened in third canto, but I'm just saying it's interesting to note that point. Okay, yeah.
Mataji,
Would you like to read perhaps? Kokulila, would you like to read?
Mataji, I have a question.
Yes.
So, like, how do you understand this, that different personalities are becoming calf? Like, is it an analogy, or like Bhumi Devi really took the shape, form of a cow, right?
Yes, she really took the form of a cow. It's very clear.
And what
And
about the
so,
other personalities? Like, they really took the form of like
yes,
calves? Oh,
yes. You know, see, see, materially, right? We
yes.
change cars. Hey, I have this car and I have a Ferrari, you know, I have BMW, right? Rich people, they change cars and they say, hey, this is my car today, right? And for some others, we may change houses, right? We may say, hey, I'm going to my farmhouse, I'm going to my vacation home. So similarly, when heavenly beings, heavenly people, personalities, when they attain siddhi powers, etc., they don't just acquire a new home of matter like that. They acquire siddhic powers, and it's called shape shifting. So shape shifting is one of the mystical quality that all these devatas, all these personalities, when we become, call it liberated, or when we attain perfection in this life, we'll be given with that siddhi of shape shifting. You can shift yourself to be an animal, you can shift yourself to be another devata, or you can change your body. And we can see how even in Ramayana, when there was the sage, what was his name? Can you remind me? I forget right now. So there was a sage who had shapeshifted, and he and his wife had become deer, right? They both became deer, and they were running around the forest, and they were mating in the form of deer. So in several occasions, and then of course Dasharath did not know, and then Pandu, right? Pandu did not know, and then he shot the arrow, and then he killed the sage. So yeah, then he figures out it was a sage, it was not just some ordinary deer. So like that, we see in many instances that people shape shift. Whether it was what's his name? I don't remember the names. There was the sage who was very old and very, he'd become ugly from all the yagya and everything. And then like he just goes in front of the 50 daughters of Mandata. And then he just, looks like a young guy, and all the 50 daughters, they want to marry him because father says, hey, nobody will want to marry this guy. My daughters, why they'll marry this guy? He's so old and all, he's so like ugly and all. My daughters will never marry. But then he had mystic powers, and he appeared in front of the 50 daughters. Very, very handsome he appeared. Then they fell for it, and all of the 50 wanted to marry him. So this is the powers, spiritual powers. We can't understand it because we're limited by our own capacities for opulence. We are maximum accustomed to gold jewelry and some bank balance to flash and some car that we can show off. But the celestial people, they have ability to shape shift. They have ability to become smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest anima, laghima siddhi. They can walk on water, etc., etc. So becoming a calf is not extraordinary in this case, but what is extraordinary is the glories of cow and calf. How even in the spiritual world, the form of cow, Kamadenu, and the form of calf, Redvatsa, it's very special and it's very spiritual. And she took the form of cow. It's not by chance. Everything in Srimad Bhagavatam has deep meaning. And every animal represents a specific quality, a specific sort of power, And so when you think of cow, what do you think? It's a docile animal, it's a patient animal, it's an animal which gives a lot of resources, very useful animal, which nothing about the cow is wasted. Even cow dung is used for cooking, and that cooking is the best. And the urine of the cow, it is called Ganjala, which is actually very spiritual because it not just spiritual, it very scientifically it's proven to cure diseases. Even Modi, this Prime Minister of India, he used to drink like, can't remember the quantity, every day that much of cow urine he will drink. I mean, for Western people, this concept may sound a little weird. What? Drinking urine of an animal. But in the Indian concept, cow urine is not urine at all. It's not belonging in the category of urine. And the stool of the cow is not considered stool. It's considered pure. So cow is a representation of selflessness of a mother, the ultimate mother who's the giver, right? There are different mothers. And so cow is like a principal mother who's always giving, always tolerating the abuse or the torture of all these kings and all the humans. So it's the comparison is like there's a personified forms of these gods, etc. They're not ordinary, okay? It's not ordinary cow here, and therefore they're not bringing some ordinary calf from somewhere to drink the milk. Prahlad Maharaj is becoming a calf. You understand? It's a different level of thing. And one other answer is we are so influenced and conditioned by impersonal ways of thinking and being that sometimes it's very difficult for us to why they took a form of a cow. No, because we are very influenced somehow by this kind of everything magical is supposed to be what light or what should it be. So this personal form of explaining, or sorry, a personal form of experiencing rasa, experiencing these emotions, experiencing this devotion and relation is very fascinating. I see a hand up. Please unmute and ask. I see, who is that? Rasa Stali Mataji, I saw your hand up as by accident. Any comments or questions with what I just mentioned?
So, whatever you said from there, I understood that since the cow was not ordinary, so the milk also was not ordinary the way we see, right? Because
now
it is like
you'll see what the milk is.
yeah, it's blood. Sometimes it's blood for the demons, and then art for the Gandharvas and all. So it is not something that we experience materially, right?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's just an analogy because we don't have
Yes.
experience of milk giving, things which are beyond milk, calcium.
Yes.
For us, milk is calcium. Okay, it's pure. We can make sweet rice with it. Okay, we can make paneer with it, or we can make rasgulla maximum with it, right? That's our capacity.
Limitation.
Even in our capacity, look how many things you can make with milk. You can make yogurt, you can make cheese, you can make cream, you can make condensed milk, you can make paneer, you can make so many things even just with our experience. right? And then what to speak of the divine cow.
Wow, it's really amazing. Thank you for
Yeah,
the
it's
explanation. It's
fascinating.
amazing.
It's
Yeah.
fascinating.
So we should not understand, misunderstood all these pastimes to be some stories, right? It's very much real. Yeah, we have to see from our
Yeah,
limitation that we may not be able to see from our materialistic eyes. Yeah.
that's, that's the mistake that the impersonalists like Mayavadi people do. When they read Bhagavatam, they say everything is just analogy only. They don't see personalized things. Even Mahabharata, they say, Are, there is no Pandava, there is no battlefield. It's our own thing, it's our body, it's this, that. They'll speculate. They don't take Puranas for what it is. But with our limited expectation, if we calculate cow, calf, we'll get stuck. But we need to understand, see, many of us, probably all of us, don't remember, as Krishna says in Gita, that we have been demigods. We have had mystic powers. We did fly around, use mystic things, etc. Maybe we misused it or whatever. Now we have human body. We're stuck with birth, death, old age, disease. Even heavenly beings are stuck with birth and old age, disease. But I'm saying we may not remember, but we have, Abrahma Bhuvana Loka, Punaravartino Arjuna. We have been up and down in Brahmaloka and heavens and here and there. And we've been. It's just that we don't remember. The mind's intelligent doesn't remember. But the soul, it has the remnants of the experiences. So when we study Srimad Bhagavatam, those memories are revived. We relive. And we know that story yesterday also, actually day before yesterday in Rajeshwari Radhika Mataji gave class, and also yesterday in Independently Thoughtful Conte Prabhu said this point, this story of how there was a cobbler and a sage, and both of them were told what the Lord was doing. And they said the Lord is trying to pass an elephant through the eye of a needle. And that sage said, Hey, how is that possible? Come on, it's not true. And then the cobbler said, Oh, that's so nice. I'm not at all amazed because, God can put a whole tree inside a small, tiny seed. So I am not amazed that he's trying to pass an elephant through the eye of a needle. So, to understand Bhagavatam, to understand higher knowledge, one requires faith. One requires a broader sense of understanding, and to not put our own limited experiences, we don't put that in the way, because it's that if that's in the way, we'll never accept anything, because spirituality is inherently vulnerable. We came to spiritual life because the way we were living didn't work for us. So we came to spiritual life declaring that I don't know how to live, and so I want to follow spirituality, which is Guru Sadhu Shastra, which intrinsically requires vulnerability. It's not about experimenting through our eyes and ears, right? It's through understanding. To understand higher knowledge, you need to have higher levels of consciousness. We need to vibrate on a higher frequency if we want to absorb transcendental knowledge. We can't remain like animals, don't take bath, eat any nonsense, live without rules and regulations. Then how can transcendental knowledge even touch us? Right? So yeah, these are some points. I hope that helps.
Yes, Madam.
Ataji, I was just remembering one more pastime when the Kamsa, he was, torturing Bhumi Devi. Then again, she took a form of a cow and went to, approach Brahma, Lord Brahma. And here it is saying that, if you read this page again, then you will found that, she become a cow, mother cow, and everyone become a calf. And, they are draining the essence, like a Prahlad, he's taking, the liquor and beer, and the Gandharva, the musical and beauty, like whatever they have the quality as a calf, they are like the Kapila acting as a milk yogic mystic power from Bhumi. So they are extracting those things from Bhumi Devi because it's there inside the Bhumi, but she herself she cannot take it out.
Like Shiva Rudra is a calf. The beverage is of blood, which they kept in the cup of skull and snake scorpio. So this is the thing, like, she is acting as a Bhumi Devi, as a mother cow, and everyone is in the form of calf. They are taking out that pastime of churning of uh, uh, milk ocean. So everything was coming out one by one.
Exactly. And also, let's note here, it's not just gems and something very mundane level. Like you said, everybody is taking what they value as a whatever, as a civilization or as a species, right? For Gandharvas, their musical arts and beauty is what is most important for them, because that's how they sing and glorify the Lord, right? So it's
Yeah.
not just like when we drink milk, it increases our capacity, right? Mental capacity. Prabhupada also says we should drink milk because milk produces certain kind of, you can say scientifically or externally, chemical things that activate the brain. The brain works better, the memory is better, right? And bones also become better. So similarly here we can see, as you said, different pitris. They got, it's actually called Havya. It's not called Kavya, as I know. Actually, there's a mistake there. It's called Havya. It's the special preparation of food for ancestors. So it's kind of difficult or rare, like that. Mystic powers, right? This Tim Purushas got mystic power. Different people got different things. There's something else I was thinking to mention when Rajeshwar Radhikamatri was speaking. The point about the point about when we approach spiritual personalities and when we approach even like Kamadhenu, etc., our intention, our desires get fulfilled. It's not just on a mundane level, it's also on a consciousness level when we ask the Lord to uplift our consciousness, to protect our consciousness, because we are, after all, we are parts and parcels of Krishna. Qualitatively, we have qualities of Krishna. Prabhupada says, little Krishnas we are all. And so there is no limit to our intelligence expanding or our compassion expanding or our sense of to spread the movement. How many devotees have been empowered to do amazing things? So this also, for me personally, this story is like, there's no limit. Don't ask for glass pieces, ask for something which is the best. Ask for the best so we can offer to Krishna, we can serve Krishna. We don't have to like be limited with our prayers because of our limited experience. Oh, cow and calf, another pastime is Balaji pastime. Brahma becomes cow. He becomes Kamadhenu cow, and Shiva becomes calf. And they both go and try to feed Krishna, who is sitting there in separation from Lakshmi Devi. And Brahma is like letting out the milk so that the Lord will be nourished. That's another pastime. So the cow theme it gets repeated again and again. And there are other Puranas also. There are so many stories about the cow. And in the beginning of Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj also sees the cow, right? And being tortured and standing only on she's being abused, and then Kali, he comes and chastises, sorry, not cow, it's the bull. And then he chastises the Kali and puts him in the right place, because he's only standing on one leg, like that. So many examples of the cow and calf being repeated in Srimad Bhagavatam. Would you like to read a little bit more? Anybody who likes?
Oh. No, Amy can.
Yeah, good. You can start here. Yeah, because let's finish a little bit of this. Yeah.
Creatures use Takshaka as a calf to draw out poisons which they kept in snakes' holes. Using Shiva's bull carrier Nandi as a calf and the forest as a milking pot, four-legged animals like cows extracted fresh green grass as their food. Fierce animals like tigers transformed a lion into a calf and drew out flesh food. The birds used Garuda as their calf to milk out insects and plants as their edibles. Trees made a banyan tree into a calf and derived milk in the form of many tasteful juices, while the mountains used the Himalayas as a calf to extract minerals, which they kept on their peaks. According to Prithu's desire, the earth supplied every type of being with their respective food. They each made the head of their species into a calf and milked out their edibles. Prithu smiled in satisfaction. His anger dissipated, and he felt fatherly affection toward Bhumi, as if she were his own daughter. When the milking was complete, he again mounted his chariot and went out to level the earth's surface. He released arrows charged with the power of mantras that smashed numerous hills and mountains to dust, creating expanses of flat ground for farming. Returning to his palace, Prithu sat upon his great throne, flanked by his ministers. He gave audience to the people, and the heads of the different social orders came to see him. The king gave them appropriate employment, so that everyone in the kingdom was fully engaged in their respective duty. Prithu ensured that they were all properly remunerated and had adequate accommodations. To the citizens, he seemed exactly like a loving father. Seeing the people had been living in a haphazard fashion, constructing dwellings here and there in small groups, Prithu developed towns and cities. He also organized farming so that pasturing grounds and fields for growing crops were properly laid out. Forts and barracks were built, and jewel mines excavated. Under Prithu's guidance, the earth became beautiful, and the citizens were content. One day, the sage Narada visited Prithu. The king was curious to know what destination his father Vena had attained. Narada said, "Your father has taken birth among the meat-eating outcasts known as Mlekas. Afflicted with the terrible sinful reactions, he is now suffering from leprosy and tuberculosis."
Ooh, that's a twist in the story. Not so nice. And one thing I did want to mention here is when you see Prithu Maharaj, he's engaging the different people in the kingdom. Everybody is employed, and everybody in the kingdom was fully engaged in their respective duty. And I wanted to bring up how a good leader, they know how to keep people engaged and according to their nature, and in a way that is fulfilling for them and to progress in Krishna consciousness. And that's protection. Sometimes there is an idea, right? Protection doesn't mean you lock somebody, like especially women. They say women should be protected, women should be protected, women should be protected. You know that instruction is not meant for women. It's meant for the man. They are supposed to give protection, and protection is not something like, oh, you put somebody inside one room, you lock them up, and then you keep the control of the keys. You don't let the woman do whatever she wants or whatever. No. Protection means protecting the enthusiasm of the soul, the individual, engaging them fully to do things out of enthusiasm, utsahan nishchaya dhairya, to help an individual according to their nature. That is protection. So this is important, and we can see that Prithu Maharaj was doing that. He's engaging people in their respective duties, engaging them according to their nature and taking care of them. Nowadays, of course, such a struggle to find employment. We have to see how we'll be fed, and it's not a joke these days. The government is not going to take care of the brahmanas. Everybody has to find ways to feed themselves, and therefore there's chaos. There's chaos. Communism doesn't work. Democracy is, as Prabhupada said, demon crazy. People who are rich people who are rich keep getting richer. People who are poor keep getting poorer. Right? The system is completely chaotic currently. But here we get some hope how Whoa, you see, things are like getting in order. Of course, as any story, there has to be the drama there, intrigue there, and the intrigue is, come on, Prithu Maharaj's father is suffering from tuberculosis and leprosy, and he's afflicted, and he has taken birth among the meat-eating outcasts. He's become a Malacha, no, because of his sinful reactions. He's suffering now. And then, yeah, Prithu is like helping the whole world, but what about his own ancestor? This is the duty of a Kshatriya. So tomorrow we'll study that. Stay tuned for the next episode of Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Thank you very much. Now we're going to have japa affirmations. And right after that, we're going to jump into chanting the 1,000 names of Krishna, 1,008 names of Krishna, which can relieve us from our sinful actions and offenses and bring us to the point of using our ability to the best potential. Over to you, Rasastali Mataji. Haribo.
Jai.
You, Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai. Affirmation 11. I chant to be accepted by Krishna and to repair my broken relationship with him. Prabhupada gave the following definition of the Mahamantra in 1968. Krishna, please accept me. Please accept me. Interestingly, in a later lecture, he said, we have no right to ask Krishna to accept us. We have no right because we left him. We turned our back on him. We committed sinful activities for many, many lifetimes. We became envious of Krishna. We denied him and we minimized him. What right do we have now to ask him to accept us? Our desire to reconnect with Krishna is our great fortune. As such, we cannot stop ourselves from asking Krishna to accept us. Prabhupada said, we have faith in our Guru Maharaj and we know by his mercy we will petition Krishna and Krishna will accept us. It is powerful to chant in the mood that we have turned our back on Krishna. We have remained separated from him for many, many lifetimes, and now we are asking him, please, although I don't deserve it, I want to reinstate my relationship with you. Please accept me. If we follow ourselves to enter into this mood, it will likely bring up emotions like remorse, despair, and lamentation. By these feelings can empower our chanting, feeling guilty for having left Krishna and feeling the need to reconnect will energize our japa. In this meditation, we can envision the example that Prabhupada gave of a child who has run away from home. Although the parents love him, the child wants independence and therefore leaves home. I like to envision myself as this child coming back years later as an adult, lifetimes later, to my father Krishna, having suffered much. Realizing my mistakes, I am ready to humbly plead to Krishna to accept me back. I envision myself knocking on Krishna's door, preparing to ask him to forgive me and accept me. Even though I have turned my back on him, I know I don't deserve the relationship, so I can only beg to be accepted. I feel bad. I feel guilty. I feel horrible, yet I need to be accepted, and thus I beg for it. If we bring out these emotions while chanting, we enter a deeply prayerful realm of japa. Hare Krishna.
Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada, revealer of the holy name ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. This is beautiful, very nice, so nice to channel that energy of regret towards chanting the holy name like